After crossing over, you discover that Chinese is actually an ancient forbidden spell in this world. As long as you speak it in Mandarin, the spell works successfully. An old man over 100 years simply said the word thunder. The clear sky suddenly turned dark with heavy clouds. Lightning flashed and thunder roared. Then he said the word rain. The once parched desert instantly poured down with heavy rain. Witnessing this, you were utterly stunned. Isn't this just Mandarin? So you couldn't help but say the word grass. The barren land immediately sprouted green grass, full of vibrant life. Seeing this, the elder asked in surprise how you did it. He then took you to a place called the Eternal Sect. At this moment, you stood in the middle of the crowd, waiting for the entrance examination. The exam was to recite the sacred texts of immortality, to strike the long sound bell. The more times you struck it, the higher your rank in the sect would be. 1 strike made you an ordinary disciple. 7 strikes earned you the title of Elder of the Eternal Sect. At this time, bell chimes rang out sporadically inside the sect, but never more than 3 times. Most failed to strike the bell at all, and trudged down the mountain dejectedly. Qishan the examiner watched the scene, and sighed deeply. It's been 50 years since any disciple struck more than 6 times. There hadn't even been a sound during the 2 assessments over the past 10 years. Finally, it was your turn to strike the bell. You stepped forward, bowed toward Qishan. Examiner Linbei came to oversee the final comprehensive exam. Qishan nodded at you, signaling that you could begin. But inside, he sighed once again. Looks like just a commoner, probably another unfortunate reject. You lifted your gaze toward the massive longevity bell. 3 mystical symbols instantly appeared on its surface. 2.5 years? You were stunned in disbelief, wondering if your eyes were playing tricks on you. Isn't that Chinese characters? Hesitantly, you read the words aloud. The longevity bell immediately roared in response. Then new symbols surfaced once more on the bell's face, about to explode. Without hesitation, you read them aloud again. The bell sounded another booming ring. Seeing this, Examiner Qishan suddenly looked up. Even the other gifted and well-resourced candidates hesitate for a moment when seeing these sacred characters on the bell. But you, a mere commoner, read them instantly. Before Qishan could recover, the longevity bell was struck twice more. Qishan was instantly thrilled. This is the first disciple with true insight this year. This child is extraordinary. The Prime Minister of the Cabinet has finally gained a new disciple. Even the third elder opened his tightly shut eyes. After all, even cabinet disciples hesitate for a few seconds when reading the divine texts of past thoughts. But this child did so without reservation. After the excitement, Qishan was about to announce you as the Prime Minister's disciple. Yet another shocking scene unfolded. The longevity bell rang twice again unexpectedly. After 6 rings, the longevity bell emitted waves of golden light. Upon seeing this, the disciples in the square burst into an uproar. The third elder suddenly stood up from his chair, staring at you in disbelief. My God, after 100 years, the sect has finally welcomed a child of 6 thoughts. Then a powerful divine presence from the valley suddenly scanned the testing square. It was the gaze of the Eternal Sect's sect leader. The third elder withdrew his gaze from the nun, but his tone still held incredible disbelief as he asked, You recited the divine texts above the longevity bell without hesitation? Could it be that you already knew them? Since the Eternal Sect's sword sect, there have only been a few dozen candidates above 5 thoughts. Even the disciple with the most 8 rings took a full 10 minutes to read the divine texts of the first 6 rings. But you only spent 10 seconds. At this moment, the third elder's shock was beyond words. This is truly terrifying, and you're only now recovering from the shock. Silently thinking to yourself, divine script? Isn't this just Chinese? The first 2 strikes were the most ordinary standard script. Later, auspicious was just written in traditional characters. And this counts as divine script? But since you can't reveal you've traveled through time, you can only respond in the local language. No, I didn't. Yet the third elder didn't believe you at all. Then how could you not stop? A gifted prodigy. I'll say a few divine script lines. Try to repeat them back to me, but you just shook your head. Please wait a moment. I haven't finished the exam yet. The third elder looked puzzled. What exam haven't you finished? Could this child really strike the 7th bell? Just as he was wondering, you quickly recited the divine script from the 7th, 8th, and 9th lines in one breath. After all, in your eyes, this so-called divine script was just Chinese written in a different font. The bell rang 3 times again in succession. Since the founding of the Eternal Sect's sword division, this was the first time a candidate struck 9 chimes. 9 strikes sound, the divine child completes the exam. Qishan went weak all over and collapsed to the ground. The 3 elders were completely stunned. Their mouths hung wide open. How could there be 9 strikes in the longevity bell of Qishan? The Grand Elder? Lin Feng heard the commotion as well. The sword wielders rushed to the testing grounds. Meanwhile, deep within the Eternal Mountain Valley, 3 bronze coffins suspended in midair suddenly burst open. 3 ghostly figures flew out from them, radiating an astonishing aura. The Grand Elder sensed that the 3 ancestors had awakened. Back when the Eternal Sect nearly fell, the ancestors never woke to intervene, but now, all because of a new candidate, they have awoken. The 5 supreme elders within the sect, unable to leave their posts simultaneously, sent the most prestigious White Elder to the testing grounds to see who exactly this 9-strike candidate really is. After all, anyone who can strike the longevity bell 9 times would be named the sect's divine child. Both the Elders Pavilion and the Supreme Elders would have to obey him. As they came to their senses, the 3 elders pointed at you with trembling voices, saying the Grand Elder is him. This boy struck the longevity bell 9 times in 1 minute. It's likely the old guards in the sect have all been alerted. The Grand Elder squinted eyes and looked at you, noticing no special traits on your body. Then he asked, What's your name? Which noble family are you from? Answer truthfully. My name is Lin Bei. I'm just an ordinary commoner. Hearing this, the Grand Elder couldn't help but feel embarrassed. He silently thought to himself, if you really struck that bell and called yourself a disciple in front of me, wouldn't the 3 ancient ancestors have already destroyed me? But he still had some doubts about you. Since you can prolong your life long term, you must have some understanding of divine texts. Next, I will recite some divine texts. Try repeating them once. Pearl Glow Lotus. The Grand Elder spoke a phrase in Chinese. Immediately a pink flame lotus appeared in his hand. Seeing this, you instinctively thought, sure enough, the divine texts of this world are in Chinese. If that's the case, then here in this world, my path to cultivating immortality starts with invincibility. Thinking that, you repeated Pearl Glow Lotus. Instantly, the same lotus flower appeared in your hand too, exactly like the one in the Grand Elder's hand. Seeing this, the disciples and several elders present were shocked again. That move is the Grand Elder's signature technique. How could this kid possibly know it too? The Grand Elder was equally stunned inside. Could this young man really be a once-in-a-millennium genius? Yet, unwilling to give up, he said another divine text. Hurricane. Then a whirlwind suddenly appeared in his other hand. The wind sphere grew bigger and bigger. The entire square was swept by a fierce gale. Many unprepared disciples were blown to the ground. But this time, you didn't choose to repeat what was done before. Instead, you had your own idea. You raised your hand over your head and shouted, Super Hurricane! Seeing this, a few newly initiated ordinary disciples couldn't help but feel excited. They were finally proven wrong. The spell he recited was completely different from the Elder's incantation. Turns out that kid was just lucky before. These ordinary disciples now secretly wished to see you fail. But the next moment, they saw a wind sphere forming in your hand, even bigger than the Grand Elder's. Immediately you hurled it into the sky. The ordinary disciples who mocked you were instantly blown away. Even the eternal bell swayed violently in the wind. The Grand Elder, stunned, hurriedly cast a protective spell to shield them. At the same time, he looked at you in disbelief and asked, "What did you just do? Why is your incantation so different from mine?" "The spell you cast is the same as mine, but its power has multiplied several times." You thought for a moment and replied, "I made some slight modifications. Actually, I can unleash something even stronger." "That's impossible." Seeing this, Elder Bai spoke bluntly to the Chief Elder. "Elder Lin, you should step back now. Don't embarrass yourself here." At this moment it became clear to you as well. The divine script of this world is actually the Chinese from your original world. As long as you speak the right words, your words become law. This realization made you quietly excited. Elder Bai then said, "Lin Bei, your talent is exceptional. According to sect rules, you should be personally trained by the sect leader and become a divine child of the sect. But since the sect leader hasn't arrived yet, you must first pass the test of the Elder Council and the Supreme Elder to officially confirm that status. What cultivation level have you reached now?" Hearing this, you paused in surprise. "Cultivation level? What is that?" As these words left your mouth, the disciples present all burst out laughing. How could he not even know what cultivation levels are? Someone who doesn't understand cultivation can read divine scripts? Could he be from the evil demon hall? Elder Bai frowned. He clearly hadn't expected you not to know what cultivation levels meant. But you had indeed made Changsheng Zhonglian think hard 9 times. So he patiently took the time to explain cultivation levels to you. This requires you to understand a divine language. It shouldn't be difficult for you. Like gathering energy like this. As soon as the Elder Bai finished speaking, a shining figure identical to him appeared behind him in an instant. Then it grew larger and larger, finally turning purple in color. The glowing figure was over 10 meters tall. The disciples around were all stunned by the sight. "This is the celestial shadow of the reincarnation mirror. So impressive." You nodded and did the same gather energy chant. Soon a glowing figure appeared behind you as well, but it was only a small white shadow about 2 meters tall. Seeing this, the surrounding disciples burst out laughing. "I thought it would be amazing. Turns out your cultivation is just like a still water mirror. Even if you ring the long life bell 9 times, so what? My dog's already at the celestial realm." This is hilarious. Elder Bai saw your shadow and couldn't help but feel a little disappointed.
Though this kid is gifted.
Their cultivation is far too low. You noticed their reactions and realized your cultivation might really be pitifully weak. You couldn't help but feel a little inferior. You thought you were about to be invincible, but soon you came to your senses. Wait a minute. Since speaking Chinese in this world has the power to make words into reality, wouldn't that be possible? Just thinking about it. You suddenly chanted in Chinese. Level up your cultivation. You thought you were about to be invincible, but soon you came to your senses. Wait a minute. Since speaking Chinese in this world has the power to make words into reality, wouldn't that be possible? Just thinking about it. You suddenly chanted in Chinese. Level up your cultivation. Level up your cultivation. Even the venerable Bai Zun didn't understand the divine words you just spoke, but in the next second her face instantly went pale, because the figure behind you grew taller and taller, changing from white to blue. Within a few breaths, the immortal's shadow grew to 10 meters tall, and its color shifted to purple, yet it didn't stop there. The immortal's shadow behind you rose even higher, shooting straight up to 15 meters. The purple turned into red. Then 3 figures almost 100 meters tall appeared in the sky. The 3 ancient ancestors were utterly shocked by what you'd done. They all appeared together above the examination plaza. This is the color of the Void Realm Immortal Shadow, the primordial emperor rising in realm, and doing so 5 times in a row. What kind of monster is this? Look at the sky. That's the 3 ancient ancestors of the Eternal Sect. My heavens! Then, the lead ancestor Wuji spoke first. "Young man, you have already sounded the bell. Among the 9 times immortals were named as divine children of the Eternal Sect during their lifetimes. Will you accept me, Wuji Sword Saint, as your master?" As soon as these words were spoken, the crowd in the square erupted in chaos. Who exactly is the ancestor Wuji? He's a cultivator who has already entered the sacred realm, just 1 step away from reaching the Emperor Realm. On the Eternal Continent, any cultivator who steps into the sacred realm can declare their own sacred title. And this ancestor Wuji's sacred title is the Wuji Sword Sage. But when you hear the title Wuji Sword Sage, you can't help but feel a bit baffled. Isn't that the character from some wildly popular game in the old world? Yet before you could respond, 2 other ancestors standing beside ancestor Wuji spoke up. "Young man, don't listen to that second Wuji. He's only skilled with the sword, that's all. If you become my disciple, the sacred master of Bodhi Law, I can teach you many law secret techniques." Who doesn't know the Bodhi secrets? "Young man, I am the sacred dragon of the Void Kun. If you become my disciple, after just 2.5 years of training, you could master the art of dragon control, capturing a star dragon from the Void Star realm. To be your mount would be no problem at all." Hearing this, the 7 elders still standing on the assessment square were stunned, speechless. Even Elder Bai was dumbfounded. The 3 great ancestors were actually vying for 1 young man. Is this the treatment reserved for the divine son of the Eternal Sect? Afterwards, the 3 great ancestors argued for a while. The unlimited ancestor broke the deadlock first. "Let's stop fighting among ourselves. Let's ask the divine child who he wants to apprentice under." Saying this, the 3 great ancestors all turned their gaze toward you. You pondered silently. All 3 are the top figures in the Eternal Sect. Apprenticing with any one of them would be a great honor. So you spoke up. Disciple Lin Bei is unsure whom to choose. Why not have all 3 great ancestors accept me as their disciple at the same time? As soon as you said this, the disciples who had gathered to watch burst into ridicule. He's dreaming. Trying to apprentice under all 3 great ancestors at once? Since the Sword Sect formed, no disciple has ever apprenticed under multiple masters. How arrogant, unbelievably arrogant. While the disciples muttered among themselves, thinking your status as divine child would be revoked, the 3 great ancestors exchanged looks and spoke in unison. "We'll accept your proposal." This caught all the disciples off guard yet again. They had lost count how many times they'd been shocked. Hearing this, you immediately knelt to pay respects. Disciple Lin Bei pays respects to the 3 masters. The unlimited ancestor chuckled. "You've just joined the sect. First coordinate with the Council of Elders to complete the initiation process. Meet us tomorrow morning at the sacred site in the back mountains. Your disciple will obey." As the 3 ancient ancestors departed, peace finally returned to the sky above, and you recovered from the recent surge in your cultivation. Just now, after repeatedly chanting to increase your power, you felt strength surge through your entire body. Excited, you looked at Elder Bai and asked, "Elder Bai, May I ask what the next step is? To officially join the sect? Elder Bai snapped out of his shock, giving you a wry smile. Divine child, your initiation process is no longer something I can decide. It requires the approval of the sect leader. The sect leader? Yes, you are now the divine child of the eternal sect. Aside from the 3 ancient ancestors and the sect leader, the council of elders and our supreme elders must show you respect. Naturally, the sect leader must determine this initiation process. Then where is the sect leader? The sect leader is here. A hollow voice echoed from the distance. Then a figure appeared, floating through the air. The next moment, Qi Xiaoya, the leader of the eternal sect, stood before you. You hadn't expected the sect leader to be a woman, so you froze for a moment. Quickly you said, Disciple Lin Bei pays respects to the sect leader. Qi Xiaoya sized you up from head to toe. Her eyes were filled with confusion. He became the youngest sect leader in eternal sect's history. The reason was that he possessed a pair of extraordinary eyes, the Sicilian eyes. They allowed him to instantly see a cultivator's level and potential. When you struck the longevity bell's 6th chime, he sent his divine senses over, but he found your cultivation was only at the lowest stagnant water stage. Yet moments later, with just a single divine phrase, you immediately advanced to the void realm. Even the most gifted genius would take decades to progress from stagnant water to void realm. But you did it in under a minute with just one divine utterance. Qi Xiaoya was shocked to her core. At the same time, the corners of her mouth curved into a small smile. You're Lin Bei, right? Joining the sect is simple. Just tell me the divine phrase that instantly advanced you just now, and you can join eternal sect. Hearing this, you first froze in surprise. Then your mind was flooded with 1,000 runaway beasts charging through. Is this really the initiation ritual? This is plainly a robbery. I haven't even learned anything yet. And now someone's demanding my cultivation method? What kind of mess is this? So you said. Sect leader, don't you guys already know this divine phrase? Sect leader, don't you know how to read this divine script? In response, Qi Xiaoya said solemnly, there really is such a divine script within the sect, but none that can advance through 5 realms consecutively like yours. Hearing this, you immediately understood in your heart. It seems that people in this world rely on Chinese as a cultivation method, without truly grasping its meaning. Otherwise, no one could fail to understand when I said that upgrading cultivation is so simple. Given that, since I have already spoken it into existence, those 4 words can earn me a chance to join the sect. This deal is far from a loss. Thinking this through, you nodded. Then you spoke. Alright, the divine script I mentioned earlier is about advancing cultivation. Follow me and read it aloud once. But after hearing this, Qi Xiaoya hesitated for a long time, only managing to read the last 2 words, cultivation. No matter what, she couldn't pronounce the first part, advance. This left Qi Xiaoya a bit puzzled. Your cultivation level is clearly not higher than his, and your spiritual power definitely couldn't surpass his. So why can you read such advanced divine script? But since you are a genius fought over by 3 ancient masters, you must have something extraordinary about you. In the end, Qi Xiaoya brought you into the eternal sect's main hall.